Welcome back to the third video in the series Getting Started with Swift. In this video we'll take a look at the basic operators available in Swift. We've already seen a couple of the basic operators in previous videos, even though you may not know it. However, in this video we'll go into them in much more detail. Okay, well let's get into it. So what is a basic operator? Okay, well the basic operator is a special symbol or phrase that we can use to check, change or combine values. For example, we could say let I equals 1 plus 1. In that example, we've actually used two basic operators, the assignment operator, which is the equals, and the addition operator, which is the plus. Let's have a look at these basic operators in the actual playground. Why don't we start with the assignment operator, because we were just talking about that. So let x equals 10. And if we give that a quick run, you'll note that we see the 10 come up here. So it's basically loaded 10 into x. And we've seen this before. Generally speaking, there needs to be a space between the operator and the variable or constant. However, not always the case. We'll cover off on the exceptions as we go through this. Anyway, let's cover off on the rest of the arithmetic operators first. So let's go let x equals 10 plus 2. And if we give that a quick run, you'll see that the plus is the addition operator. And similar to that, the minus or dash symbol is the subtraction operator. If you give that a run, we'll get 8. The star is the multiply operator. And the forward slash is the division operator. So one you may not know about is the percentage symbol, and that's the remainder. So if we want to find the remainder of 10 divided by 3, we use the percent, and as you can see it gives 1 here. In some languages this is known as modulo. Okay, the next one I want to cover off on the minus operator. So this will change 3 into minus 3 and load that into x. Now one other thing, if you want to maintain order of precedence, you can use brackets. So you can see here that the addition inside the brackets was actually calculated and then the multiplication was done after that. Now, there are some shortcuts to some of these basic operators. Okay, so let's try something here. Let's create a variable x and make that equal to 3, and then make x equal x plus 1. So essentially we just want to increment x by 1. And if we give that a run, you'll see initially it gets loaded with 3, and then we actually add 1 to that and we come up with 4. Now the shortcut here is this, and if we actually run that now, you'll see that it does the same thing. We call this a compound assignment operator, as it combines an assignment, the equals, with another operation, the plus. And it just allows you to write it in a shorthand version rather than having to write out this whole line. Now you can use that for the other arithmetic operations as well, and also some logical operations that we'll get to down the track. Okay, the next thing I want to look at is comparison operators. Now, comparison operators are used when we want to check values and potentially do some different things based on the result of the test. So the first one we're going to look at is the equals to. Now, we've already used the equals symbol as the assignment operator, so we need something different. So what we do is we use double equals. So let's look at an example here. So let A equals 10 and let B equals 10, and then let's print A equals B. And if we run that, we get true because they're both the same value. So the double equals in here is the actual comparison operator for equals. And if we change one of these and then run it again, we'll get false this time. So that's the equals to comparison operator. Now, before we go any further, these comparison operators will always return a boolean, so either true or false. The next one I want to look at is the not equals. For not equals, we use an exclamation mark and then equals. So if we run that now, we get true. If we make them the same and run it again, we'll get false because they're actually equal. So we're checking for not equal. Okay, the next one I want to look at is greater than. And if we run that, it comes up with false. However, if we make A greater than B, then we'll get a true. Next one, less than. This will be false. However, if we make A less than, then obviously it's going to come out true. Let's look at the next one, which is greater than or equals to. That'll come out false. If we make it equal, then we should get a true. And if we make A greater than, again, we should get a true. So I expect you'll know what the next one is. Less than or equal to. Obviously this is going to come out false. Again, if we make them equal, then it'll be true. And if we make A less than B, then it's going to be true as well. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at is logical operators. Logical operators modify or combine Boolean logic values. So Swift has three standard operators. The first one is the logical not. And what this does, it inverts a Boolean value. And for the not, we use the exclamation mark symbol. Now, this is another instance where you can't have a space. Let's start with a Boolean value. Let's just say x equals false. And let's print the not x. Now, if we run that, you'll see we get true. And of course, if we change that to true and run again, we get false. So it just inverts it. So the next one we'll look at is a logical AND. So let's create a second variable here, y equals false. And for the AND, we use a double ampersand symbol. And if we run that, we'll get false. And look, if you don't know how an AND or an OR gate works, then I'd suggest you just do a quick Google and it'll come up for you. But essentially, you only get a true if all the inputs are true. If any one of them is false, then the output will be false as well. So if we make both inputs, X and Y, true, and then we execute this, we'll get a true output. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is a logical OR. So we've got our two conditions here. Now, the logical OR is two pipe symbols. So if we run that, this will come out true. Now, again, if you don't know how the OR works, then Google it and have a quick look. But essentially, if any one of the inputs is true, then the output will be true. Just like arithmetic operators, we can actually force an order of precedence. So I can, if I put the OR in brackets and then later on do a AND with Z, I can force it to do the OR first. And if we execute that, it will come out as false. Okay, well, there are some other special operators, but we'll cover off on them a little bit down the track. That's enough to get us started for now. Okay, well, I think I might close this video off here. In the next video, we're going to look at collection types. Well, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you've seen, then can I get you to give the video a like? And if you'd like to see more, then hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the chime, you'll get notified of when I put up new videos. Okay, cheers for now.